we will start a new chapter of class 12th, and the chapter name is Sources of Finance for Joint Stock Company. Joint Stock Company. Before we start anything, what is the syllabus, what is the meaning, let me discuss what is the joint stock company. Joint stock company means where an organization or company where the most of the peoples are working, where the most of the shareholders are working together, means many shareholders are working in the organization. It's called joint stock company. Take an example. If you are playing a cricket match, in that cricket match 11 players are contributing for the team. So this team work as a joint stock company. Joint stock company means where the many shareholders. Otherwise, when company offers to the public to join the company and invest their amount into the company for successful success of a business organization. So the number of shareholders when the joining, it's called joint stock company. Now come to the another point. What is the syllabus? Means what things you will study in this chapter. So long-term sources of finance. What is the definition of a long-term sources finance? After that we will discuss about types of sources of funds. That means the long-term sources finance divided into how many parts. Then after, the long-term sources of finance has divided into the many parts, where the some parts in a long term and someone is a short term. So first is equity share, and you will discuss in this equity shares meaning of equity share, feature, what is the thing have in the equity share, then advantages, benefits of the equity share, disadvantages. After that, preference shareholder. Preference share meaning, their features, types, advantage, disadvantage, and one thing which I missed it. After that we will discuss about the difference between equity shares and preference shares. After that, bonus, right and sweet equity shares, ESOP, employee stock option plan, meaning and feature of ESOP. After that, debentures meaning, types, advantages, disadvantages, and next point will be loan from commercial banks, meaning, advantage and disadvantages. After that, short-term sources of funds. Short-term sources of finance, I have written only 3 points, but it is more than 6-7. Public deposit, trade credit, customer advance, bank overdraft, bills of exchange. The rest of the things are part of the short-term sources of finance. Now, come to the first point of this chapter, long-term source of finance. When before I start the definition of this thing, just try to learn what is the meaning, the simple meaning of long-term source of finance. When acquisition of a capital, when sources of funds used to buy your long-term assets which can utilized by the organization for earning resources. Come to the definition. Funds which is used to buy long-term assets, and it also helps to maintain fixed assets and current assets. If you have a long-term assets, so it helps to maintain your current assets as well as fixed assets. Now come to the example how that can be maintained. When you have a large capital, let me assume 5 crore rupees. So by the 5 crore rupees, you can buy plant, machinery, land, building and other equipment which can help to the organization. So when you will buy these long-term assets, it helps to increase the condition of the business. It increase the production of the business. It also maintain the all area of the business organization. Now, current assets. Current assets means inventories, debtors, your goods and prepaid expenses. These are your current assets. So, long term also help to maintain of your current assets. Now, after come to the next point which we have discussed. Now, we have finished it. What is the meaning of long-term sources of funds? Let's summarize. When you are using your long-term funds for acquiring of your long-term assets. Now come to the next point, types of sources of funds. Types of sources of fund has divided into the long-term and short-term. And long-term also has divided venture funding. Venture funding is also known as a venture capital. It is not in our syllabus, but it is the part of a long-term sources of funds. So, the first point is the venture funding. Second is equity share. Second, third is preference shares. Then next is your debenture. Then loan from commercial bank. So company can take many types of loans from the commercial bank, like as a bonds, like as a mortgage loans, like as a personal loans. So these are the type of a long-term source of finance or long-term source of funds. We had discussed about sources of funds, means how many types we have which we can increase our source of income, capital. So capital we can get it in two types: long term, which we can use for the long term, more than a year, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and short term, which we utilize in the certain period of a time or in under the 1 year. Venture funding, equity share, preference share, debenture, loan from commercial bank. And short term finance, public deposit, customer advance, bills of exchange, trade credit, installment credit, factoring. These are the sources of short-term finance. Now we will come to the next point. First of all, we will come to the what is the meaning of venture of funding. This is not in our syllabus, but we will understand what is the meaning of venture funding. After that, we will come equity share, meaning, feature, advantages, disadvantages in both point of view, company and shareholder. Now come to the first point of long-term source of finance is venture funding. Venture funding, before get the definition of this point, let's try to understand a simple meaning. At the time of a startup of any new activity or new business firm, when you are going to start a new business activities into the market, or when you want to launch a new thing in the market, so you are getting different investor to invest the money in your that new business startup. This kind of a thing is called venture funding. Means many people are joining for a certain startup and they are investing their money in the organization. Now come to the definition venture funding. Venture funding means venture capital. It is also known as the venture capital. So venture capital are investment fund. That means someone is investing. Investment fund that manage the money, means that money you are utilizing into the utilizing your startup. Manage the money of investor who seek private equity stakes in a startup. Private equity stakes means a percentage of a capital when contributed by an investor into the organization is private equity stake. Let's take an example. If you are going to start a new mobile phone into the market and you require 10 crore rupees, and where you are investing 5 crore rupees, now you are getting help from the other people for startup of this business, and they are investing 2 crore, 1 crore and the rest of crore. So these people are venture funding, those who are investing into the business organization. Now come to the equity share. Equity share is the second part of a long-term sources of finance. So the simple meaning of equity share, they are the main member, means the owner of the company, who have a voting right and enjoy the preferential condition of the organization. Now come to the definition. Equity share is a part of ownership, means they are the main member. Now come to the example. When in a company, means when you are joining many peoples, like as a BJP, Congress, where who are the main people in a BJP. If you talk about Narendra Modi, Amit Shah and Rajnath Singh and Nitin Gadkari, these are the main peoples, and the rest are peoples also working into the organization. They are not worthless, they are important, but who are the most important, who participate in the organization actively. They are participating into in the decision making for the organization. They are involving themselves for all the activities of the business. So means equity shareholders are main people, main owner of the organization, who enjoy the voting right. Enjoy the voting right means they can participate and they can vote the right for anything, for any decision which come into the in the organization. So is a part of ownership where each member, means everyone, those who are owner of the company, they will get the respect and they will get the voting right. They can give their suggestion for the company or organization. Each member is fractional. Fractional means in divisional portion. That means whatever the amount you are, if I'm investing 2 lakh rupees, other people is investing 5 lakh rupees. This is the fractional distribution of the capital. Fractional owner. That means whatever amount you are giving to the company, whatever amount you are investing into the company, so that much of amount makes you owner for the organization. And initiate the entrepreneurial liabilities after getting the right of equity share into the company. They will be get some liabilities, they will get some duties, will have to manage all the activities of the business organization. Entrepreneurial liabilities related with the trading concern. Come to the again in a easy form. They are main owner who participate in all activities of the business organizations. They are give their concern for trading concern. Now come to the features. What are the main things? What are the things which identify equity share? Priority of issues. Company issue can different type of a securities. This is a kind of a securities, and equity shares is also known as a ordinary share. Their share value is generally very low. The minimum share value is generally very low of a equity share. Now come to the first point, priority of issue. Company can issue different type of securities like the preference share, debenture, loan and bonds, mortgage loans. So we can issue different type of securities, but company start with the equity share, means the first priority will will get the equity shareholder. If a person is getting the equity share, so that person will be called equity shareholder. So priority of issue, they are the main priority. Equity shares are main priority for any company organization. Company first issue the equity share, after that they can issue other equity shares. No preferential right means whenever you are becoming a member of an equity shareholder, so you have no preferential right to get the dividend. It's depend on the company's condition and benefit. If company is getting more benefit, so you can get the 100 or 200 rupees and more than 900% profit. If the company is getting less amount of a profit, so you will not get the any profit and you will have to bear the losses also. So they have a no preferential right for a dividend. There is a no preferential right on dividend. There is a no fixed rate of interest for the equity shareholder. Now redemption. As per the Company Act 2013 and 16, equity shareholders when become as a member of the company, so their capital will be repaid at the time of winding up. They cannot get their capital at the between duration of a company organization. You will get it there your amount at the winding of the company. Voting right, they are the main people of the organizations. They have a voting right. If the company want to take any decision for the organizations, so only equity shareholder will be participate for the decision. They will come for the voting for any decision for the organization. Now come to the next point of related to equity shareholder, advantages of equity share. So advantages divided into the two parts. From company point of view, which kind of advantages get it from if the shareholders are taking equity shareholder. So company can get it the 6 type of advantages. And from a shareholder's point of view, means if you are becoming a member shareholder of equity, so what kind of advantage you can get it, means a person get it, and in other way what company can get it advantages. So come to the first point, no burden on earnings. When a company issue equity shareholder, so there is no pressure on a company. They will have to pay dividend in favor of equity shareholders. It depends on the company's condition. If the company is getting the profit and some income, so they can distribute among the equity shareholder. If the company is not getting profit income from their business activities, so the equity shareholder will not get it any benefit from the company. So this is a kind of a relax for the organization or company, where they don't have any burden to get it benefit from their business activities and have paid to the equity shareholders. So from this burden they can easily relax for their activities. Permanent capital. As per the equity shareholder, whenever equity shareholder will become as a member of the company, so their capital will be repaid at the winding up company's condition. So the company can enjoy the permanent capital for the longer period for the successful of the business organization's condition and benefit. No charge on assets. So this is a kind of a good things for the company. If you're a company and I am becoming as a member of an equity shareholder of the company, so I cannot force to the company that you will have to give some mortgage and some securities on my shares. If I will not get it the amount, so you will have to pay from your securities or from your mortgage amount. So there is no any kind of mortgage condition or security condition. So this is the kind of advantages for the company, where they have no pressure on their assets. So company can easily to complete their work without any pressure, because they will have to they will not return any kind of things from their assets. Sources of strength. This is also kind of a good advantages for the company. Whenever company offer equity shares to the public, so they get it more prestigious and more valuable people from the public, from the public, and these people give the strength of the company, where they can easily borrow money from the different securities from different companies. So it is a kind of a good advantages for the company when they get it a more equity shareholder, and one of the equity shares are more prestigious and valuable persons. So it increase the strength of the company, and it increase the value of the company, where the company can enjoy their valuable priorities into the market, and they can get it more long-term loans from the commercial bank, financial institution, people and public. Now, unlimited sources. So unlimited sources is also kind of advantages. Equity shareholder give a kind of a permanent capital into the organizations, so we can increase our capital from different sources. This is a equal to the sources of strength, but it is a little different. In the sources of strength, you are getting this prestigious people, valuable people, which help to increase the long-term funds, and when you are getting the permanent capital, it give a kind of sources where the company can get a different type of sources of funds. Small nominal value. The per value of equity share is very low in comparison to debenture holder, debenture and preference shareholder. So there is no any kind of a pressure. If the per equity share is 10 rupees, so debenture shares per equity value, debentures per value can be more than 90, 100, 125. So in comparison to preference shares, debenture, the per value of nominal value of equity shareholder is less, where they can save more fund, and that fund they can utilize into the business organization, which kind of advantages for the company. Now come to the from shareholders point of view. Voting right. Equity shareholders enjoy the voting right. They can participate. They can put their own decision. They can suggest to the organization ki these things can be better for the organization. This is a kind of advantages for equity shareholder. If in a school, if a principal want to take any action, and if it's a calling some important people or important student into their group or for the decision, so it is a kind of advantage for that people. They are getting preferential right, they are getting a kind of a prestige from the company. Second things, limited liabilities. Whatever amount you will contribute in the organization, that much liabilities you will get it into the company. There is no any kind of pressure on the equity shareholders. If you are contributing in 1 lakh rupees and other people is contributing 10 lakh rupees, other people is contributing 50 lakh rupees, so the liabilities will be equal between all three equity shareholders. There is no compulsory things that whatever amount you will contribute into the company, only that much of a liabilities you will get it from the company. Controlling power. Company always choose their board of director from equity shareholder. So equity shareholders get it a controlling power of the decision for the company or organization. Rate of a dividend, that can be become as a benefit as well as a disadvantages, but in one hand we can say that the rate of dividend is a benefit for the company. If a company is getting more benefit, if the company is contributing into the organization's activities 10 crore rupees and they are getting 100 crore rupees to benefit, so equity shareholder will get the benefit and dividend from out of that 100 crore rupees benefit. New share subscriptions. If a company will launch or issue any new shares into the company, so that benefit first of all will get it by the old existing equity shareholder. After they can offer it, otherwise they cannot offer it. But it is a compulsory for the company. Only existing equity shareholders can get it the new equity, new shares, new subscribed capital, free from income tax. This is also kind of advantages for the company. On the rate of a dividend, there will be no pay of income tax to the government. Now today we have done many things from the chapter number 3rd, and the next time we will discuss about the preference shareholders meaning, advantages, disadvantages and disadvantages of equity shareholders. So if you face any kind of a problem or any kind of a doubt, if you will face it, so you please send the message. Thank you very much.